welcome to Big Boof Bets. It's the Get That Money podcast. As always, I am Nate Stevenson, joined by Mr. Big Boofy Skirman and Mr. Tony T-Bone Guarino. We're getting hot, guys. Getting hot. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I haven't been able to go back and get my official tally of everything from a dollar standpoint, but I know I'm up. So, good week.
Awesome. We love to hear. How about you, Tone?
You know, I was going to start on the conversation about what bodies of water might be around the New England area, but then I took a step back and I thought about it and I thought, man, is it nice to just see the Patriots suck for, the first time in 20-something years.
It's wonderful.
So I didn't feel that bad about it after that. And like you said, Nate, getting hot. Great week for the locks. Super excited to get into that. Even more exciting is the Get That Money podcast is now available for streaming on Spotify, as well as several other major streaming platforms for your podcast. Be sure to check us out on Google Podcast, Breaker, Pocket Cast, and whatever your favorite podcast platform is. Be sure to check that, like, subscribe, follow, and share with all your friends.
Yeah, Tone, that's you told me that last week. We appreciate all your hard work, and that's awesome, man. Helping us getting the message out to the people and getting them units.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Tone. I appreciate you going the extra step for us. Podcast is going to new heights.
Absolutely, baby. Continue to help everybody get that money. And speaking of getting that money, let's look at those wonderful locks last week, Boof.
They were pretty wonderful. We had 10 locks, and we went 7-3, bringing our total for the season up to 30-21-1 at a very nice 58.82%. Specifically, we had the Bills minus 13.5. And as bad as the Bills were, and I believe they did not score a touchdown in that game, if they would have just made the 2 field goals that they had missed, they would have been able to cover the minus 13.5 for us. They would have had 8 field goals instead of only 6, and that would have been good enough for us. Then let's see, the other losers we had the Patriots minus 2.5. Cam Newton had 3 interceptions. Patriots just weren't very good. Then Seahawks and Cardinals under 56.5. We had some pretty good historical data on that one, but both offenses played really well, and we missed on that one by a lot. Our winners were Panthers plus 7.5. Bengals and Browns went over 50. We had the Packers conditionally at minus 3, and we were fortunate enough to get that line. And the Packers cruised. We had the Steelers minus 2.5. They jumped out to an early lead for us and almost got backdoored and possibly even lost, but the Titans were kind enough to miss the field goal at the end of the game. We covered there. We had the Chiefs minus 9.5. This line actually moved. I think it was down to minus 7 by kickoff. But Chiefs covered anyway, no problem. Bucks minus 3. They were able to pull away towards the end. And Bears and Rams under 45.5 on Monday night. That was another one we cruised to. So 7-3 on the week. We will definitely take that every time, and I'm looking forward to sharing the stuff we got for you for this upcoming week.
I like it. Let's do it.
All right, let's dive into Week 8, starting with our Thursday night football game, which will feature the Atlanta Falcons at the Carolina Panthers. Panthers are laying 2.5, and the over-under is at 49.
One of the craziest stats I saw this week involving the Falcons' epic collapses this season. So basically, there's win probability metrics that are running during the game. For instance, there's one of the 4-letter network that I use their app a lot to get my scores. They have a win probability based on what time of the game. And the Falcons are the first team in history to lose 3 games in a season. And the season isn't even over yet. In a season that they had a win probability of 98% or better in a game. And they've lost 3 times when they've been at that point, which is just absolutely insane. So honestly, like I can't bet on the Falcons with a lot of confidence unless they're playing maybe say the Jets. They're not. They're playing the Panthers, and the Panthers have looked pretty good. Panthers are laying 3. I don't love the Panthers at -2.5. I do like it, so that'd be my pick here. With Julio Jones coming back for the Falcons and McCaffrey potentially for the Panthers, I do like the over as well. So that's kind of where I'm at with this game.
Yeah, the thing about the Falcons is like I feel like if we bet against them just blindly for the entire year, we'd end up positive. But in any one week, they're still very talented on offense and they're capable of putting it together. I am afraid they're going to do that this week, so I will be passing.
All right. Moving into Sunday, we'll start things off with the Indianapolis Colts at the Detroit Lions. The Colts laying 2.5 in the over-under at 50.
I don't like Phillip Rivers. He's been looking more and more old and more like the worst version of Phillip Rivers. So I can in no good confidence lay points with the Colts here. As far as picking a side, I would take the points with the Lions. They're getting healthier. They're looking better by the week. Not like world beaters by any stretch of the imagination, but I think they're the better team here, so I would lean the Colts plus 2.5. I do think the better pick and the best pick in this game as far as spread and total is under 50. The Colts are supposed to get Leonard back at linebacker. That is a big deal for them. In all 4 games with Leonard at linebacker, they would have hit under 50 on the total. And the Lions have shown to be much more conservative in terms of their play calling. They run the ball a lot more than you think. Between Adrian Peterson and Swift, you're looking at almost 30 carries a game. That keeps the clock rolling. And when the Lions are either ahead or in a close game, they continue to run the ball a lot. So give me a good defense and a team that runs the ball a lot mashed up against each other. I think that is a nice recipe for an under. So give me under 50 points.
Nate, how would you feel about conditionally going under 51? That way we give ourselves a little cushion there and we can handle a 27-24 kind of game.
You know, Boof, I appreciate that math because if I like under 50, I love under 51. So that gives me a little insurance. So, yeah, I'm definitely down to lock under 51.
Okay, yeah. I figured you would be down with that, given you already being down with the 50. I think that's the direction we're going to go here. I do see it being more on the lower scoring end as well. Darius Leonard potentially could be back. That is a big deal for the Colts. And just in general, like you said, Phillip Rivers has not been great this year. You know, the Lions just don't run and gun the way you think you typically think of the Lions. So I do see this being a lower scoring game. We're going to conditionally lock this one at under 51.
Oh, yeah, lock it in. Get that money. Conditionally.
Up next, we have the Las Vegas Raiders at the Cleveland Browns. Browns laying 3 in the over-under at 53.5.
As a whole this year, the Raiders have actually looked pretty good, especially against better teams. I mean, obviously we had the upset win against the Chiefs. Last week against the Buccaneers, some people may say, well, they got blown out by the Buccaneers. Well, I mean, there was a 4-point game in the fourth quarter against the Buccaneers. And that was when the Raiders were already down a couple offensive linemen due to injury. And most of their offensive line didn't even get cleared to play in the game until Sunday morning due to COVID protocol. So the fact that they kept the game close against a really good Buccaneers team into the fourth quarter, I think says a lot. Now you switch over to the Browns, who, I mean, I almost want to call them a fraudulent 4-2.
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. 5.
They haven't really beaten anybody. The 2 really good teams they've played in the Steelers and the Ravens, they got it handed to them pretty bad. They barely beat the Bengals twice. You could say maybe their best win is against the Colts. I mean, and you know, we're on record by saying we think the Colts are maybe an average team at best. So I like the Raiders here getting points. And, the Browns don't have OBJ for the rest of the season. So losing your number 1 wide receiver normally doesn't help a team get better on offense either. So I'm getting points with the Raiders. I like that. Give me the points with the Raiders.
Yeah, and for me, you said it, man. I mean, Cleveland is a 2-loss team. but their wins are against the Bengals, Colts, Dallas, and Washington. So 3 of those are among the worst teams in the league, and the Colts are in. So,
that's a murderer's row, man. What are you talking about?
Yeah, and it's just it is. It's tough to buy them as just a 2-loss team. So I think they're about to turn into a 3-loss team, and the Raiders are getting points. Give me that one all day. Let's lock the Raiders +3, and let's get that money.
Oh, yeah, lock it in. Get that money. Brown suck.
All right, moving on, we have the Los Angeles Rams at the Miami Dolphins. The Rams laying 4.5, and you're over-under at 46.
So knee-jerk reaction for me in this game is to lay the points with the Rams. But honestly, once I looked into it farther, I couldn't do it. And honestly, it really comes down to the fact that the Rams are coming off a short week, big-time win in prime time, and now they have to travel to the East Coast for a 4th time already this season. I just don't feel good about laying that many points with the Rams. Could they win? Yes, but the Dolphins have a pretty good defense, pretty good secondary. I could easily see this being one of those just slugfest games because I do expect the Dolphins to play pretty conservatively on offense with Tua getting his first start. I don't really see them putting him in harm's way. I know they're definitely going to try to keep him away from Aaron Donald and probably Jalen Ramsey the best they can. So I do expect a conservative game plan for the Dolphins offensively. And honestly, won't surprise me if the Rams are a little sluggish on offense. So I don't really like laying the points to the Rams, but considering all of those factors, I do like the under of 46 in the game because I think no matter who wins this game, it's not going to be a high-scoring affair at all. So, like I said, plus rookie quarterback generally leans a very conservative game plan, especially in his first game. And, oh, yeah, by the way, the Rams are also a top 5 defense. So, big factors. Give me under 46.
Yeah, the totals for the Rams in the last 3 games have all gone under that number of 46. So, defensively, they are playing well, but they're not exactly lighting it up on offense. That's a great combination for an under. Give me the under 46, and we're locking that in.
Oh, yeah, lock it in. Get that money.
Next, we have the Minnesota Vikings at the Green Bay Packers. Packers laying 6.5, and you're over-under at 54.5.
Hey, Boof, didn't the Packers scrub the Vikings earlier this season?
I don't have the exact total in front of me, but yes, they did.
All right, so the Vikings are apparently in sell mode. With they just traded Ngakoue, if I'm saying that right, to the Ravens. So they seem to be in sell mode here at 1-5 or 1-6, whatever they are. I can't seem to get records right for some reason this week. But yeah, I don't like that.
You like that? You like that?
So give me the Packers -6.5. I think they blow them out again.
All right, so it was actually a 9-point win. They scored 43 points in that one, but couldn't stop the Vikings either.
Was that I feel like that was garbage time Kirk though a little bit too there, Boofy, wasn't it?
I don't remember exactly, but the final score was 43-34.
Good enough for me. Give me the Pack.
It is good enough for me. Beyond that, Green Bay has only lost 1 game this year. In all of their wins, they have covered at least 7, which is obviously more than 6.5. I think the Packers continue to roll. You already commented on the Vikings trading away in Ngakoue. So I love Packers -6.5, and that's another lock for us.
Oh, yeah, lock it in. Get that money. Go, Pack, go.
Okay, moving on to the New England Patriots at the Buffalo Bills. Boy, what a matchup this week. Bills laying 4 and the over-under at 43.
I don't know. I don't know. Boof. Your Bills, man. Like, what's going on offense and defense?
I don't know, man. I really don't.
The Jets. I mean, your boys screwed a parlay for me this last week. The Jets, bro. Come on.
Yeah, so this was an interesting one because while we were watching the games on Sunday, the Bills end up not covering for us, and it was, obviously it was one of our locks. And me and Nate turned to each other and we're like, definitely downgrade on the Bills coming up. Then the 4 o'clock games come around, and we're already sitting pretty. And, obviously we had the Patriots over the Niners as a lock for us. And they end up getting their butt kicked. Cam looked terrible. Bunch of turnovers. Couldn't accurately throw the ball on other ones. And me and Nate turned to each other and we're like, definite downgrade on the Patriots. And sure enough, they're playing each other this week. This isn't quite the mathematical formula that we typically use here, but it's getting close to the neighborhood of poop on poop. It's more of a downgrade on downgrade equals stay away is going to be the math that we go with today. So stay away. It's a pass.
I do agree, Boof. If there is ever a time where I could be happy to stay away from a Patriots game because they are playing like poop, I'm going to just enjoy it and I'm going to stay away.
Okay, up next, we have the New York Jets at the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs laying 19.5, and you're over under at 48.
One of these teams is definitely not poop. Definitely not. I'm sure I don't need to clarify who that team is. Conversely, the other team, they may not be the color of poop, but they might be the color of vomit because the Jets are that bad, and they might make you throw up watching them. So I don't care that this line breaks our rule of 14, Boof. The Chiefs are that damn good, and the Jets are that damn bad. It's 19.5, and I'm going to say in one word where we're going with this. Chiefs!
It's funny, man. This reminds me of a college spread. This is like Alabama playing Chattanooga State, and they want you to lay like 35, and you're like, clearly Bama. And this is the same thing here. This is Chiefs minus 19.5 playing, Italian Series B Jets. And I'm sorry, 19.5 is not enough. The 14 that you referenced, that's more of a guideline, guys. I would hardly call that a rule. Whenever you get a matchup like this, lay the points. We're going to win by 35. This will be a piece of cake. Chiefs minus 19.5. It's a lock.
Oh, yeah, lock it in. Get that money.
Okay, next we'll take a look at the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Baltimore Ravens. Big divisional showdown. The Ravens laying 3.5 and the over-under at 46.5.
Go Steelers! Definitely looking forward to this game. This is one that, both teams, fan bases, and even the league has circled on the calendar every year, twice a year. And right now, Steelers in the driver's seat for the 1 seed in the AFC and the division. Ravens obviously only have 1 loss, so huge game for both teams. Both dynamic offenses, dynamic defenses. If you're asking me to pick a side, getting over a field goal with the Steelers is where I would go. But this is one of those ones I need to see these teams play once before I could go with anything with a lot of confidence. So I obviously want the Steelers to win being a Steeler fan, but I'm not going to let the Yinzer in me be the person that determines what I do with my wallet. So we are just going to pass this game and enjoy watching it.
Yeah, I think this is one of the truly great matchups that you get during the season. You have a really good offense on both teams, really good defense on both teams. Historically, it would suggest you should consider the under, but most of that history is the Joe Flacco Ravens, not the Lamar Jackson Ravens. So things are a little different this time around. I think these two could play 10 games and you could get 10 different results. Not the kind of game you want to bet. It is a pass.
All right, so for our final 1 o'clock game, we have the Tennessee Titans at the Cincinnati Bengals. Titans laying 6, and you're over-under at 54.5.
Definitely expect the Titans to get back on track this week with a victory. Laying under a touchdown, I like that a lot. I like it even better after I heard that there's some turmoil in the Bengals locker room with different guys wanting out. Supposedly Dunlap was caught in an argument with the coaches after the game and posted his house for sale. So take that for what it's worth. But supposedly him, AJ Green, William Jackson, another guy or two who supposedly won out. It's the Bengals. Who really wants to be in Cincinnati anyway? So you take that, the fact that They are giving up the most sacks in the league. They have a couple offensive linemen that got hurt last week. And I just think with the Titans coming in after a loss, wanting to get back on the winning track, it's just a recipe for disaster. I think Jadeveon Clowney gets healthy this week and gets a couple sacks, maybe even a strip sack. So under a touchdown with the Titans, I like that a lot, and that's where I'm going to go.
See, here's my thing. The Bengals' offensive line started the year terrible. So when one of those guys gets injured, we just replace him with another terrible player. Like, they were already at, like, mid-season free agent caliber to start the season. So I don't think we're downgrading all that much there. And beyond that, if you would have bet the Titans -6 in all their games this year, you would have only cashed your ticket one time. And if you would have bet against the Bengals -6 in all of your games this year, you would have only cashed your ticket one time. So that's enough for me to say I disagree with Nate, and I am passing.
You know what, Boof? I feel so confident in this game. I will pizza box you the Titans -10 against the Bengals.
10.
10.
Do it. I'm in. Do it.
Oh, yeah.
Pizza box.
Lock in the pizza box.
Pizza time.
You're going to regret that, son. About to go to what, 0-4 on the year on the pizza box?
I think this is only our second pizza box on the year.
I don't know. I probably had a couple
chickening out. I should be up like 3-1, but you keep chickening out.
Oh, I mean, you just maybe asked me at the wrong time. Could have also had a couple beers in when I'm calculating the record. So there's that.
Well, we all know how good you are with records this week. So
you are correct, Toad.
All right. Well, let's get back on track here. Let's get back on track and move on to the 4 o'clock games. We'll start the 4 o'clock hour off with I always want to say San Diego. The Los Angeles Chargers at the Denver Broncos. Chargers laying 3 and the over-under at 44.5.
In the words of the former governor of California, go Chargers, go. Herbert is just, bro. Herbert is the truth, man. Like every time he plays, he is getting better by the week. I didn't know he was this good. I think the Chargers have themselves a real franchise quarterback on their hands, and he's having what's turning out to be a very great start to his career. That Chargers offense looking really, really good. The Broncos, we've already beat to death how many injuries they've had defensively. Getting a couple guys back on offense, but still, I don't think that they're good enough or that it matters enough that they will be able to cover 3 against the Chargers. So give me the skyrocketing talent of Mr. Herbert and the Chargers, and I will lay the 3 points.
I am also down to lay the 3 points. That's one of my favorite picks on the week. I just think Denver stinks, and the Chargers finally got their first win with Herbert last week against the Jags. So you already got that monkey off his back, and I love it. I love Chargers -3. It's another lock for us. Beyond that, continue to pay attention to where his passing total comes in at on Sunday. I think it was 265 again, and he threw for 347. So if they're going to continue to give it to us in that 260 area, like I said last week, we're going to keep taking it. So keep your eye out for that one.
Oh, yeah, lock it in. Get that money.
Go Chargers, go.
Okay, up next, we have the New Orleans Saints at the Chicago Bears. Saints laying 4, and you're over-under at 44.
So the Saints, from what I'm understanding, are going to be without both starting wide receivers. Emmanuel Sanders due to COVID still, and Michael Thomas still allegedly, seemingly, still has a hamstring injury that is making him look very, very questionable, if not doubtful, for this week. I say seemingly because, I don't know, something just doesn't smell right there with Michael Thomas. I mean, all of a sudden he had an ankle injury, and then he had a team discipline, and then he had a hamstring injury. I don't know. I really hope this is not a case of wide receiver divaism coming to the surface here with Michael Thomas, because I do think he's an immense talent, and what him and Drew Brees have been able to do down there in New Orleans has definitely been something special. So I hope that's not the case. But alas, Saints missing both starting wide receivers, going against a very good Bears pass defense. I really don't feel good. I'd entertain the Bears at a touchdown. It's not that. It's 4. So I'm staying away from that. My lean would be under, but again, 44. The Saints still do have Alvin Kamara, who can get the job done and definitely put some points on the board. So I don't know. I just don't really like it a lot. I'm going to pass.
Yeah, as far as the -4 goes, I kind of feel the same way. I mean, I like the Saints to win. I could see them winning by a touchdown, but I don't have a ton of confidence in it. And as far as the under is concerned, I mean, the total of 44, the Saints have still found a way in all of their games to go over that number. So I would actually lean over on that. But again, neither pick do I feel super strong about. It is a pass.
All right. Our final Sunday afternoon game will be the San Francisco 49ers at the Seattle Seahawks. Hawks laying 3 and the over-under at 54.
You're giving me the Hawks at a field goal or less at home against a team that has injuries on defense. I'm taking the Hawks every day of the week. That's the case here. Give me Seattle. I do not in any way expect the Seahawks to go on a losing streak here, which is what that would have to happen. So give me the Seahawks -3, keeping it simple. Let Russ cook.
I'm with you on the Seahawks -3. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. We've gone against San Francisco 2 weeks in a row, and they've burned us each week. But Deebo Samuel was playing in those games. He's not playing in this one. I think he brings a lot to that offense. And with him being out, I think that's a big loss for them offensively. And you look at where they're going to try to be able to attack a somewhat suspect Seattle defense. I just don't know where it's going to come from. And then beyond that, like you said, the Niners are still injured on defense. Seattle's offense is still awesome, and I do not expect them to lose 2 in a row. We're only laying 3. I love it. Seahawks -3. It's a lock for us.
Oh, you're locking in. Get that money. Go Hawks.
All right, so that takes us to our Sunday night football game, which will be the Dallas Cowboys at the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles laying 7.5, and the over-under at 43.5.
Well, I definitely don't feel comfortable laying over a touchdown with Philly against anybody except
the Jets.
That's correct. The Jets. Guess what? The Eagles ain't playing the Jets. They're playing the Cowboys. Problem is, the Cowboys are definitely trending towards being as bad as the Jets. That's the crazy part if you're a Dallas fan. But the Cowboys, they have a lot of talent on offense. Like, that's the crazy part. Like, that's what makes it so hard. Honestly, like, the Cowboys are one of those teams where you're just waiting for the light to go on and for them to at least, even if they don't win, just play a competitive game. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I don't think it's going to be – I don't think it's going to be this week because, you know, the Andy Dalton status is up in the air. And if that's the case, you have a rookie third stringer, Ben DiNucci, formerly of the University of Pittsburgh, and James Madison after that. If let's put it this way. If Ben DiNucci plays, I'll be tempted to lay over a touchdown with the Eagles because the Cowboys were already struggling to score with Andy Dalton, a quarterback. I don't expect that to get better with a rookie third stringer. But until you have that confirmed, I'd stay away from this game because both of these teams, with the injuries and inconsistency and just how bad they are and the division is, any team could win any week. And that's no way to live as a bettor. So I'm passing.
Nate, I believe what you were trying to say was poop plus poop equals poop. And I don't want any of this poop. It's a pass.
Yes, agreed. Very well stated, as always.
All right, well, let's move on into our final game for Week 8, which was our Monday Night Football game, featuring the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the New York Football Giants. Buccaneers laying 10.5 and the over-under at 46.
Dude, Tampa Bay is about to roll into New York and stomp out this bag of poop like a flaming doorstep Halloween prank and about to cover 10.5. That's how this is about to go. Give me TB to score many TDs and get the W. I'm gone Tampa Bay, minus 10.5.
Yeah, the only question on this one for us is, as we've been kind of advising you this season, when you get a line like minus 10.5, it is wise to wait and see how it goes. Because if it went to 11, no big deal. But if it goes to 10, that's a bit of a checkpoint. You would really like to have that. So I would advise that you can try and wait until 10, but we don't really have that luxury here because I don't think it's going to go that way. I'm concerned it would go the other way, and I wouldn't get to lock it. So I do love it at 10.5, and that is good enough for it to be a lock for us. So you can add that one to the list this week.
Oh, yeah, lock it in. Get that money.
All right, well, that does it for our Week 8 matchups. So, as always, we will ride this thing out into the final words, which will include Boof rounding up those locks for the week and recapping them for us. And Nate, as always, maybe adding a little bit of wisdom.
Well, we can do that. We have, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 8 locks this week. Kicking it off, we have the Lions and Colts conditionally to go under 51. Raiders +3. Rams and Dolphins to go under 46. Packers minus 6.5. Chiefs minus 19.5. Chargers minus 3. Seahawks minus 3. And the Bucs to go minus 10.5. And I know Nate has at least one parlay that he wanted to share with you guys.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Hopefully, finally, we'll get this parlay to actually hit. I believe the last 2 weeks we've still been only missed it by one leg. So I normally hit a couple big ones every year. So we're hoping this is the week. So what we have this week, we have an 11-team parlay, starting with the Philadelphia Eagles money line, Seattle Seahawks +4.5, the Colts Lions under 56.5, Falcons and Panthers over 43.5, Titans -2.5, Green Bay -2.5, Tampa Bay -9.5, Los Angeles, that is the Los Angeles Chargers, -3, Steelers +11.5, Kansas City Chiefs -16.5, and the Las Vegas Raiders +11.5. And as you guys can tell, we have some line manipulation going on there, buying some points on several of these games. And that brings us to, as I said, an 11-leg parlay with plus 6,486 odds, which means if you bet $100, you will win almost $6,500. Feel pretty good about that one this week. So hopefully no one decides to screw that one up.
Well, thank you for sharing, Nate. Looking forward to that one hitting for us and getting a bunch of money. And beyond that, I'm looking for a big week out of the locks in general. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. Very happy to be on Spotify, so go ahead and give that a little follow on there as well. Best of luck to everyone, and let's get that money.
Oh, yeah. Get that money.